Yeah,
Μπορεί να έχει στο πλάι εδώ.
στο πλάι στο φακό μπροστά.
Να ακούς. Στο πλάι του φακού μπροστά, αριστερά νομίζω, αυτό το κόκκινο πώς έχεις στο πλάι αυτό. Εκεί που είναι τα ND.
Hello and welcome. We're live from Viana do Castelo in Portugal for the final day, the climax of the 2026 Formula Kite World Championships. I'm Alec Wilkinson. Jemima Craythorne is with me here in the commentary box. And Jemima, you've been in this situation plenty of times as a rider. It's medal series day. How do the riders feel?
It's a great question. Well, I mean, it's a world championship, so of course you're going to feel pretty nervous. But I mean, the conditions are as glamorous as it gets. So I think there'll be a good deal of excitement as well. And yeah, just natural butterflies, really.
I'm sure. Well, the pit lane is just in front of us and it is now empty. The riders are out on the water. So I guess that adrenaline is now kicking in to help with the nerves. Let's have a look at the Day 5 of the Formula Kite World Championships wrapped up qualification and gave us the 10 men and 10 women who'll compete for their respective world titles. In the men's competition, Max Mader continued his domination of Goldfleet, securing another 3 wins from the day's 4 races. The Singaporean will be joined in the final by training partner Jan Stragiotti, who qualified 2nd overall. The defending champion Riccardo Pianozzi will have to come through the semi-final. The Italian finished 3rd overall, but he'll be worried about his inconsistent form. The women's final will be contested by the 2 riders that have taken the fleet by storm all week. Defending champion Jessie Kampman, representing the Netherlands, added 3 more wins to her impressive total, whilst double world champion Lauriane Nolo, her place already confirmed, sat out the day's final race.
We have a super nice fight with Jessie. I have the feeling we're like really together in front. But yeah, it's nice. So we'll see tomorrow who's gonna win that race, or maybe like we're gonna have more drama.
China will have 3 riders in the medal series, whilst 2 third-place finishes for Elena Lengvila saw the Swiss rider just qualify in 10th place. The medal series on Saturday will see 8 riders battle it out to compete against the 2 top qualifiers in the final. Down to the final 10 women, and this is the format and how it's going to work in the medal series. So we will start with the quarterfinals. They're the riders that qualified from 6th to 10th place. The top 2 in that race will progress to the semi-final, where they'll meet the 3 riders that qualified from 3, 4 and 5, and then the top 2 from the semi-final will meet the top qualifiers in the grand final. And significantly, when you look to the right of those names on the grand final, you see 2 bullets already by the names of Jesse Campman and Lorian Nolo. And remember, it is the first to 2 wins, 2 bullets. So already top qualifiers are on match point. So just a few minutes to go to racing out on the water, and we'll look through some of those names, Jamal.
They're going to show us that right now. I think hopefully they've managed to get a few laps in so they can work out what's going on out on the course, and I would expect that they've made a decision already in pre-start which way up they're going to go. It looks a little bit like Isa and Eleanor Lengweiler are lining up for that port start. Oh, and I think Lily Young and Wan Li are joining her as well, with Liu Shenhui going for your typical starboard start.
If you're sitting at home, you can follow our live coverage with the tracker that's on the IKA website. You can follow what's going on as well on Instagram. We've got our social media team out there with a rider. There's plenty of commentary going on the Instagram story as well. So we've got every angle covered, and this is a great shot, isn't it, of that race area.
Absolutely, and it looks like we've got a bit of an indecisive fleet here. I think it looks more like Lily Young is heading out, lining up for that normal starboard start with the rest of the fleet, and it's just Li Wan who's setting up for that port start.
So Liu of China seems to be working on her own. But we've got the 5 riders all together now.
So that's Liu Shunshui, who's leading the pack in there, with only Li Wan, who's a little bit later to the line, heading for that port start, but I reckon she'll have to duck the fleet.
So here we go, seconds away from the start of this women's quarterfinal at the 2026 Formula Kite World Championships, and Liu is out ahead and just had to slow a little bit so as not to go over early, but it looks like a good start from the Chinese, and we've got someone...
Li Wan heading out for that right-hand side of the course, aiming to hit the beach and see if she can get a nice lift from the shore there.
Okay, so Li Wan heads off to the right. The 4 in front of us here, Langvila, Young, Satrian, and Liu of China.
So Liu Shunshui, she's gone a little bit lower, but she's got some good pace. But I reckon I'd want to be in Eleanor's position. She's held some good height. She's tacking out now. We'll see how that decision pays off for her further up the course.
It's the top 2 that go through. How does that affect your tactics when you go into a race like this, your strategy? Because you're not necessarily trying to win.
Very true. I think with these riders, you probably just always want to aim for that win. You want to do the best race that you can do and anything possible to seal the deal into the next race.
So Li Wan heading out towards the right-hand side of the course, and it looks like Eleanor Langvila has sort of gone with her, trying to also go right, as the other 3 have stayed left of the course.
And we can see Li Wan has tacked. We'll see if she gets that ley line with Eleanor closing in. Looks like she's not quite making the cross, or is she? Wow, look at that incredible pace from the Swiss rider. Beautiful cross, tacking onto that ley line now.
Swiss rider who used to be a pro ice hockey player, made the transition, 5-6 years ago now, to kite foiling. I guess ice hockey just wasn't fast enough for her. And now Li Wan and Eleanor Langvila are heading towards the top mark. It's not far to go as the...
And it looks like the right has really paid off there, with these 2 launched just ahead of the rest of the pack coming in on port there.
Langvila is round the top mark in the lead, and as it turns out, it's quite a lead from the Chinese rider Liu. Li Wan is there as well. And it's still so close in the pack, but it's about whether they can stay in touch now with Langvila as they head downwind for the first time.
Exactly, you can see how kind of patchy and gusty it is out there. And I think definitely getting clean air is exactly what you need to be hunting for as well. And that is what Eleanor Lang
right at the back. What do they do to get back into it? Lily Young and Satrian of Poland.
I think it's still all to play for. We can see out on the course. I think if you just make good decisions, keep your head out the boat and take any opportunity that you can, you never know what will happen to the riders at the front. We've seen people crash, but we've seen people drop jives, so you never know. I think I would just race as cleanly as I could.
We heard a lot about the currents freshwater currents coming out of the river, because we're at a river mouth. And they haven't really affected us because the race courses have been further out. But this is the first time we are so close to shore. Be interesting to see if they've got a little bit of trouble with balance on the foils this time. But look at this. We've almost they've really stayed in touch, haven't they? As they've come downwind. Langvila and Liu still the leading pair.
And an absolute battle between the 2 Chinese teammates, with a little change for second place there. Incredible pace from these 2. They are really fighting it out. I reckon they're very used to racing each other.
So Lengvila is away, heading upwind. But the battle now is for second place. Liu and Li of China. And to be fair, the Chinese women's team have been really fighting all week for positions and to try and dominate each other to get up the leaderboard. Now, Lily Young of Great Britain and Isa Satrian of Poland have gone right there, over on that far right-hand side of the course now.
Exactly, and I think that's a good move at this point. You just need to try something different, see if that pays off, and we know that the right was strong on the first beat, so hopefully that'll pay for them this time round.
It was an interesting tack there from, I think it was Liu. It got a lot of splash, got herself a little bit caught up, but we're all clear now, and she's chasing.
You can see they're absolutely locked in and sending it. These girls are on 15-meter kites, which is pretty powered out there at the moment, but they are flying.
And it's why they do it. They love the speed. And at the moment, Lengvila, our race leader, is heading out of shot, heading up towards the top mark. What we're seeing is the battle for second between Liu and Li of China. They're fighting for that second place and qualification into the semi-final, where they'll meet another one of their teammates, Wang Si.
And you can see Eleanor's tacked onto the ley line just up the top there. She got a beautiful lift up that beat. Looking really, really strong from the Swiss rider. She's been struggling with an injury, and it's so good to see her back on the board. Really, really strong riding from her.
So Eleanor Lengvila of Switzerland is now round that top mark for the final time. And right behind her are these two, Liu and Li of China.
This is quite some battle for second. It is just incredible. These two are sending it so hard. Nice depth from Li Wan there.
So how does Li stay ahead?
It's a good question. You just got to push hard and make sure you jibe in the right place. You can use the waves to help you a bit with that. And you just don't want to give away any meters on your final ley line there.
20-30 metres between these riders. That's absolutely nothing at these speeds. Lengvila of Switzerland still going well, far ahead.
Incredibly well. She's going 35 knots, some sensational speeds from Eleanor Lengweiler.
The pair we're watching here hitting about 35 knots right now. And that speed being matched by the chasing pair of Lily Young and Isa Satrian of Poland, but they are out of it really. Our leader is now round that bottom mark. This is the battle for second.
Oh,
and
incredibly close. Eleanor Lengweiler makes it with Li Wan just sending it behind her.
Well, they've really closed in on the Swiss rider, and now it's a battle of three to get to the finish line. And it's Lengvila who crosses first, and it's going to be a photo finish between Li and Liu for second place. Liu is being given it. And confirmation then that there were no umpiring issues in that finish. So Eleanor Lengvila and Liu Chenshui go through to the semi-final in this women's competition.
What a race. That was some way to finish. We thought Eleanor was away and free, and I think when you do a jibe at 35 knots, you get pretty overpowered, and I think that just made her rounding a little bit bigger and just left the two Chinese women locked in that battle. Just managed to get on the inside and create a very exciting three-way photo finish for us, so that was amazing. We are looking forward to more racing like this.
Fantastic, and caught us a little off guard because she was well ahead. And we've sort of taken our eyes off the leader, but as you say, obviously one heck of a jibe at that bottom mark that slowed her down, and well done to the Chinese pair for really giving us a terrific race. Coming up next, we have the men's quarter-final. Welcome back to Viana do Castelo in Portugal for our live coverage of the 2026 Formula Kite World Championships. I'm Alec Wilkinson. Jemima Craythorne joins me in the commentary box, and we have had a thrilling women's quarter-final, and now we await the men's quarter-final. The top two from the quarter-final will go through to the semi, where 3 qualifiers await them. And this is how they line up. Starting at the bottom of that quarter-final list, Martin Dolenc of Croatia. He's won multiple titles in a variety of kite disciplines, so a real all-rounder. Used to train with Max Mader, who is our automatic qualifier there in the grand final. Lucas Fonseca, one of 2 Brazilians in the medal series. Consistency's been key for him, especially in the heavy weather earlier on in the week. James Maus, or Janis Maus of Germany, qualified 8th, but made heavy work of it yesterday, didn't he? With 2 14th place finishes, almost scuppering his chances, but he sneaked in at 8. Huang Qibin of China, one of 2 Chinese riders in the quarterfinals. He's hugely experienced, despite only being 20. Former Asian champion, represented China at Paris 2024, a couple of years ago. And his Chinese teammate is Zhang Haoran, who qualified 6th and hit his best, really, in the early rough conditions, which is not what we've got here today. So we've got a split in the 5 already. There seem to be 2 or 3 that prefer the bottom end. And it looks like we're away with the men's quarterfinal and a split on which way to go.
So we've got Janis Maus from Germany heading out on that port tack with Lucas Fonseca from Brazil and Martin Dolenz of Croatia. So it worked for the women in the race before. Will it work for these guys in this race? Janis Maus already changing his mind, using these shifts and tacking back up the course.
Yeah, so over on the right-hand side, we've got Dolenz and Fonseca, and Huang and Zhang have gone left, the Chinese pair, and at the moment, you can't see him on that screen. He might actually, he's just come in. Janis Maus is off just to the left of this pair.
So that's
actually
Martin
we only saw like a second of it, but that pan on our drone shot set us up nicely with the 2 groups in the middle, and Maus sort of making his way up the middle of the course.
We can see Martin Dolenz to the left of our screen there, with Lucas Fonseca just above him. We'll see if he makes this ley line. Meanwhile, the Chinese teammates are also locked in a battle similar to the previous race that we saw.
If you're just joining us, it's a standard upwind, downwind course. And the Chinese now come in, and we're going to see them cross very shortly. And then we'll have a pretty good idea of how they've done and which side paid.
God, just squeaking in the tacks, just in front of Martin there. Super, super close. You can see how gusty it is up the course. This is going to be a very tight battle.
So here we go at the top mark. We've got Huang come round, Zhang, Dolenz on the outside, Lucas Fonseca and Janis Maus playing catch-up in 5th place. But these are our 3 leaders. Remember, it's only the first 2 of the race who go through to the semi-final.
All 3 of them jibing together. Martin Dolenz at the top of our screen there. Incredibly close battles between these guys. Zhang pushing him hard, putting the pressure on. And you can see Lucas Fonseca just screaming downwind just above them. He's an incredibly fast rider from Brazil. We've seen some very impressive racing from him. And you can see him just really making gains on this front pack.
But the Croatian looking so fast downwind. It was really close at the top mark. He's beginning to create a gap between him and the chasing pair. But the pressure's on him. And he was nervous this morning, heading out onto the water. We had a quick chat with him. And it's unusual for them to admit it. So it was great. And he's round. And that gap closed down considerably at the mark with Zhang. So it's Dolenz and Zhang in 2nd place, virtually side by side. Lucas Fonseca and Huang Qibing are putting on a great fight just behind them. Oh, and someone's gone in.
Oh,
We got a splashdown from Dolenz, I think. Yep, the Croatian is in the water. So real drama on this 2nd upwind leg. Our leader is in the water, and that means Zhang Haoran of China is out in front.
He's riding a little bit lower than the others. He's got some good speed, but we'll see if he can keep this lead on them.
He's got a long way back when he does tack. And now suddenly, Lucas Fonseca and Yanis Maus are back in it. But really the battle is between the second Chinese rider, Huang, and the Brazilian.
Incredibly close racing, as we've seen all week in the men's fleet. It has been some busy windward marks. They are so close, all of these guys. Zhang looking a little less convincing in the lead there, as we've got Hang and Fonseca really battling it out, just scooching into the lead there.
Yeah, let's not write off Dolence yet. He is at the back. He's in 5th place, but he's on the ley line and heading up towards the mark. Zhang Haoran is ahead of Yanis Maus, but our leading pair, Juan Quibin and Lucas Fonseca of Brazil.
Incredibly close. The lead changes in this race are insane. So Zhang is back out in front with Hang just behind. And again, Lucas Fonseca chasing down that front pack. Martin Dolence has done an incredible job to catch up the rest of the pack there. He's jibing out at the top to see if he can catch everyone up. But at the front, it is Hang and Zhang racing it out, battling it out.
This race is far from over, though. Lucas Fonseca still just off the screen there, but still battling. And so we've got Lucas Fonseca, who has now taken the lead. The Brazilian has been up and down all through this championship. He is now in the lead. So what a time to take the lead on the final downwind leg. And right behind him, Huang and Zhang of China are fighting for the 2nd place. It's the top 2 that will go through to the semi-final.
He was pushing so hard on that downwind, all going for the jibe now. Incredible stuff from the Brazilian Lucas Fonseca heading into that final reach. Wow.
He seemed down and out at the top mark, but this downwind leg has changed everything. Lucas Fonseca is going to cross the line first in the quarterfinals. He is going through to the semis. And now what about the battle behind the man with the green helmet? The battle between Zhang and Huang, and they're coming into the finish line so close.
Oh, and Lucas pushing so hard that he's crashed through the line. What a show. Wow, what a race.
So we await confirmation of the 2nd place. Was it Zhang or was it Huang? They really fought all the way around. And Dolence put up a fantastic fight to try and get back into it, but in the end just had too much to do really and finished 5th. As far as we can see it, Zhang Haoran has been given 2nd. Well, the wing foilers are having fun out on the edge of the race course. But we await for confirmation of who will go through to the semi-final alongside Lucas Fonseca. Riccardo Pianosi, the defending world champion, is in that semi. So is another Brazilian, Bruno Lobo, who's had a terrific championship so far this week, and the Olympic champion as well, Valentin Bontus of Austria. Lucas Fonseca has now joined them, and we think that the 5th rider will be Zhang Haoran. So we can tell you, we'll tell you a little bit about the setup here, because we are, and you can probably hear it in the background. We are in the nerve centre of operations, with the juries, the principal race officer obviously out on the water, but there's a whole team of race officials here, checking the drone footage, checking our live coverage. They've got eyes everywhere out on the water, just taking those decisions. You know, if there are protests, if there's anything controversial, trying to take those decisions as quickly as possible. So very soon we're going to move on to the women's semi-final. The riders are already out there on the water.
So in a format like this, we often see the riders who are kind of coming up through from the quarterfinals. They have a good, strong chance in as they come up, as they know the course very well. They've had a little bit of that practice, so a slight advantage on the riders only just heading out there for the first time now.
Welcome back. We're live from the racecourse and the semi-final of the women's medal series. Our 5 riders: Daniela Moros of the USA, 6 times world champion, competing at her 10th world championship, an extraordinary career, and she's only 25. She likes to call herself the grandma of the fleet, but nowhere near. Lisa Caval, by contrast, 21 years old, from France, has had a good, consistent qualification over the past week. Then we've got Wang Xi of China, one of 2 Chinese riders, because she's joined by Wan Li, who has qualified through from the quarterfinal, and Switzerland's Elena Lengwieler, who won the quarterfinal to make it through to this race. 2 minutes to go. What's going through their minds right now?
I think they'll be really looking up the course to try and work out how they're going to start, whether to go for that port start, and which has worked out for people in the past races. And I think the main thing is just kind of keeping clear from the other riders so that your decisions are your own and you're not dictated to by the rest of the fleet, so you can really use the wind and what's going on up the course for your advantage, really.
Okay, so 1:30, and we've seen 2 starts. Which way would you go, bearing based on what you've seen?
Oh, it's a good question. I think I would go for the port start. It's a short course, so minimising manoeuvres is always a good play. We can see we've got a beach there, and I think there's a little bit of a lift coming off. If you manage to nail your ley line, I think that could be quite a nice strategy. I think, yeah, keeping it simple and just committing to whatever you're going to do, just go for it.
Keeping it simple and making sure you're in the top 2.
Yeah.
We've just seen the men's quarterfinal, in which the leader splashed down lost it, went back to 5th place out of the competition. And that's what they're trying to avoid. They're trying to play it when get out in front, keep it safe, don't feel the pressure. 20 seconds to go. And more or less, the 5 riders sticking pretty much together as they head towards the start line. It's the semi-final of the women's medal series here in Portugal as we work towards the climax of this 2026 World Championship. They're a little bit early, but now they press the button and they are off. They accelerate away. They look like a good start. Li Wan and Daniela Moroz out in front.
Really tight start between all these riders. Daniela Moroz looking strong there, with Lisa Cavall just above her, with the ability to tack when they like. Bit of a tougher position there for Eleanor Langweiler at the bottom there. Really, really close racing between all of this pack.
So, Moroz on the right hand
Lisa
side.
Cavall goes for the tack with Eleanor Langweiler, whilst the other 3 still continue on port on starboard.
Moroz tacks and follows these 2. The 2 Chinese riders choosing to continue out towards the left-hand side. Now, is there, when you've got 2 riders from the same country, they train together, they're friends, they know each other, is there a sense that, you know,
Crash down from Lisa Cavall there. Good recovery. Oh, excellent recovery from the French rider.
Yep. Ignore the turquoise kite just in the water there, not part of this race. And attack then from Cavall. So she seems to have recovered.
Moroz also just ahead of her. A bit of a more comfy ley line for Eleanor Langweiler. We'll see how that works out for her at this windward mark.
So Langweiler, we've just seen her tack as well. So we've got 3 more or less on the ley line heading towards that top mark. The Chinese rider Li coming in from the left and has now tacked behind the leaders. Daniela Moroz of the USA out in front as they approach the top mark. Lisa Cavall right behind her, as is Li Wan. Langweiler just coming round now ahead of Wang Si. So downwind they go. Moroz, Cavall. And then it's a long way back to Li Wan, who jibed early.
Great jibe from Daniela there, extending her lead. You can see Li Wan with the shift of her life. That was great, Gus, just riding it all the way down. This is incredible.
A great move from Li Wan on this downwind has moved her up into 2nd place ahead of Lisa Cavall. And Langweiler's also made up a lot of distance.
Oh my days, that was wild. So Li Wan just scooching into the lead there.
Lead change, 3/4 of the way down this downwind. Li Wan of China has taken the lead from Daniela Moroz. And then it's a battle for 3rd right now between Langweiler and Cavall. You know, Moroz will be looking at that. She'll be saying, that's fine. Top 2 is what counts to make it through to the final. Doesn't matter whether you're 1st or 2nd. But it's so close, isn't it, between all 5 riders? This could still go either way.
The wind has picked up, so these riders will be pretty powered out there, but they're doing a great job holding on.
Well, they've had a week of strong winds and they've been coming back to the beach, pumped up on adrenaline and fun. And occasionally a little bit scared as well, they've admitted. Now, our leader, Lee, is going quite far out on the left-hand side. You're seeing on the right to the left of your screen, Daniela Morose, who's in second. So we've got second, third and fourth in front of us.
Still incredibly close. It's all to play for with this race.
Well, going this far left on the previous upwind did work for Lee. But on this occasion, Morose has tacked and the American has now regained the lead. She's regained the lead from Li Wan. Lengvila is now third and is building some distance between herself and fourth placed Lisa Cavall of France. So right now our leading pair, Daniela Morose of the USA, Li Wan of China.
And we can see Daniela is on an 11 metre there, so she'll be able to hold down that power on this upwind a little easier than Li Wan just above her, who is doing a pretty sensational job on that 15, both tacking now. It'll be a bit harder for Li Wan to tack with all that power. As we can see, it's a lot slower for her to manoeuvre there. Daniela just flinging that tack in. But Eleanor Lengweiler, those gains, she's overtaken the whole fleet, also on a 15 metre. If she can stick first around the windward mark, that 15 will do her well on this downwind.
Snakes and ladders in this women's semi-final as Lengvila now takes the lead and rounds the mark ahead of Lisa Cavall. Morose is now round in third, Li Wan of China, and then comes Wang Si. So, one final leg before the reach to the finish, and there is all to race for. Lengvila is trying to build a lead downwind, but Cavall is staying close, as is Morose. Now, Li Wan, this is where it's a similar tactic to the previous downwind, and it worked for her because she came out on top, and we'll see if it works again this time. An early jibe, heading further out to the left-hand side.
Exactly, and incredible depth with those 15 metres that we can see from Eleanor Lengweiler and Li Wan. I personally like Li Wan's position a little bit more because you've got a little more room to get your jibe in. You don't want to be jibing too near the mark with all that power, as it's really hard to get yourself back onto
but there's the mark, just top right corner of the screen. Lengweiler is there. She puts in her jibe. The remaining pack come in close. But it's Eleanor Lengweiler of Switzerland who is round and heading towards the finish line. And right behind her, Li Wan and Daniela Morose. It's the battle for second place now because Lengweiler has got it. She's got her place in the final. But who will take second? It's Li just ahead of Morose. Morose with the red bib. And it is Li Wan who takes second place and goes through to the final. And our six-time world champion and silver medalist last time, Daniela Morose, is out of the competition. Lisa Cavall took fourth, Wang Si took fifth. So a terrific performance from, well, the leading pair, really. Both of them pulled off some great strokes of strategy and tactics. Lengweiler getting the win, going through to the final. Li Wan right behind her.
Wow, what a race. And that was such a great display of when you're just on the limit of a kite size. We had half the fleet on 11s, half on 15s. and you've just got to pick which advantage you're going for. Obviously, we saw on the 11 metre a lot easier to do your manoeuvres quickly, great upwind advantage, but that 15 on the downwind was quite something. Really impressive for these women to be holding on to those kites. Similar to the men's fleet, it's actually, yeah, amazing to see both fleets on 15s right now.
Well, awaiting our semi-final winners are Jessie Campman, our top qualifier from the Netherlands, and Lauriane Nolot of France, both of them with a bullet, of course. So Lengvila and Li Wan with everything to do as they go into that grand final. Before we see that race, we have the men's semi-final, and that's coming up very shortly.
I was waiting in the undertow. I was waiting in the undertow. And the water feels like a friend I've not seen in years. And I was waiting in the undertow, while I was waiting in the undertow, undertow. I was waiting in the undertow. I was waiting in the undertow. And the water feels like a friend I've not seen in years. And I was waiting in the undertow, while I was waiting in the undertow.
Welcome back to Viana do Castelo, our live coverage of the 2026 Formula Kite World Championships. We're looking out across the beautiful bay and the sun is shining, the wind is up. We're looking at about 25 knots. The men's semi-final is soon to get underway, but before we cover that, let's give you some breaking news from the women's semi-final, because Elena Lengwieler of Switzerland crossed the line first. Right behind her in second, and remember it's the top two that go through, in second place was Wan Li of China. But that is no longer the case, Jemima.
Exactly, we've had some drama. So as you saw, the racing was super close, especially at the marks. And she has received a 1.1 penalty for failing to give mark room. So as you may know, we've got our drone umpiring that is going on live as they race. So that is what has occurred. So what this means is USA's Daniela Moroz will be going through to take Wan Li's place.
Because she finished in third. So that is, you know, you win some, you lose some. Daniela knows all about that, thinking back to the last Olympic Games. So as things stand, and I think the Chinese team are talking of protesting and so on. But that won't delay this men's semi-final. But as things stand, the grand final, the women's final, will be Jessie Campman, Lorian Nolo, Elena Langweiler and Daniela Moros.
What a lineup.
So let's run down this men's semi-final. We are looking at Riccardo Pianosi of Italy, who is the defending champion and qualified in 3rd place. Bruno Lobo of Brazil, one of 2 Brazilians in the semi. Olympic champion Valentin Bontus of Austria. They are joined by the 2 winners, first and second, I should say, from the quarterfinal, Lucas Fonseca of Brazil and Zhang Haoran of China. Those are our 5 riders contesting the men's semi-final. And conditions getting up out there.
Absolutely, we can see how gusty it is. The wind has increased, so these riders will be full power on their 15 metres. Lucas Fonseca has done a lot to make this final. He was deep in the gold fleet and did a really good job yesterday, battling his way through to make it into the quarters today and doing a great job in that to make it through to this semi-final. So I'm sure his adrenaline will be high, joining his teammate Bruno Lobo, also from Brazil. So we've got some great talent here. Obviously, Olympic champion Valentin Bontus.
35 seconds or so to go, and we've got 3 at the top of the at the top of the course, the top of the line, Bontus, Pianosi and Zhang. And at the pin end of the line, we've got Fonseca and Lobo of Brazil. As they come in with just 10 seconds to go. Pianosi with the red bib starts side by side with Zhang and Bontus on that right-hand side. And you can see the green bib there of Bruno Lobo heading off to the left.
Both riders looking strong there, heading out on port. We'll see if they can get their ley line well there.
So our 2 port riders, Bruno Lobo and Lucas Fonseca, heading out towards that ley line, whilst the others, well, they've tacked already, but chose to go left. And it's difficult to call. I mean, they've moved the course slightly. They've altered the course from the quarterfinal and the previous races we've seen in the women's as well. So it'll be interesting to see how this racetrack stacks up with the ones we saw. I think it was only a slight change to the course, though.
So Valentin Bontus at the top of our screen, the Austrian rider looking really strong. Some solid pace there. These guys are all going around 25 knots on the upwind.
There we go, a bird's eye view of where they stand. And at the moment, Lobo and Fonseca are looking good.
Absolutely, Fonseca goes for the tack. Bruno Lobo continuing a little bit further, also tacking now. We'll see if the others can cross or if they're going to have to duck here.
Top 2 go through to the final.
Oh, a squeaky cross from Riccardo there, just tacking now. Zhang has just ducked and whacked in the tack just in front of Lucas there. Really close racing from these guys with Bruno Lobo at the front.
Precision sailing there from the men.
Oh, a couple of them having to double tack. It looks like they've underplayed their ley line here. Oh, and we can see a protest there. Riccardo putting his arm up for the drone umpires. Really close racing. I wonder what that situation was.
Well, for the moment, Pianosi rounds the top mark ahead of Bruno Lobo. Then comes Zhang, then comes Bontus and Fonseca.
Pianosi in the lead there with a really tight pack of Bruno Lobo just in front of Zhang Horan and Valentin Bontus.
Difficult to say, but I think he was protesting Lobo. But we'll see And we'll see. And the umpires, as we've said before, keeping a close eye on these drone shots. And look how close it is between these three riders.
All jibing together there. Incredibly tight pack led by Valentin Bontas there. With Lobo just to the top of the screen, but Valentin putting on the pace, going for the jibe now. The others follow.
So once again on the downwind, plenty of lead changes. Pianosi now doing the chasing. Bruno Lobo just out in front. And just to his right is Valentin Bontas. So it's 1, 2 and 3 round the bottom mark now. Fonseca of Brazil just coming round now. Just pumping to try and get back up onto that foil. You can see the swell, the waves, how big they are. You can't really, you don't get that impression, do you, from the drone? It flattens out the sea, but that camera down at sea level, it's a great shot.
So we've got Bruno Lobo just continuing a little bit further on starboard, but all of the riders tacking out onto port now. Very spread out again. We'll see how they come together at that top mark. Riccardo Pianosi first attack at the bottom mark. Looking fairly strong.
I guess he had to do something to get away from the leading pair.
Absolutely.
We'll see if it pays off.
Pianosi at 27 knots. He is pushing so hard to reclaim this lead. Impressive stuff from the Italian rider.
And considerably faster than the riders behind him, who were a good 2, 3 knots slower.
So Pianosi already on starboard there, with Valentin Bontas making the cross and tacking now just behind him. Bruno Lobo having to duck Pianosi there. Have they made that ley line though? Doesn't look like it. Pianosi goes for that double tack.
Just a glimpse there of the top mark as Bontas comes in. He's out in front. Pianosi now puts in that final turn. And it's going to be Pianosi and Lobo, second and third. Fonseca coming in now.
Incredibly close racing.
I don't know if Zhang has a problem, but he's only just reaching that top mark now. So it's a battle for second place, really, because Bontas is out in front. We've seen plenty of comebacks on this downwind. Lobo chasing Bontas down.
Again, Pianosi with the strongest speeds out there, 38 knots. He is pushing so hard to get that lead back yet again. But it's Valentin Bontas who is in the lead at the moment. Bruno Lobo just going for that jibe at the minute.
So close as they come to this bottom ley line. Yes, they're all together, but it's Bontas out in front, and then it's 2, 3 and 4, Pianosi, Fonseca and Lobo.
Lucas Fonseca, what a downwind into the second place. Can he keep it? This is incredible.
First and second around, and at the moment we're about to see the defending world champion out of the competition.
Riccardo Pianosi pushing hard for that second place. Can he overtake Lucas Fonseca from Brazil?
No,
whoa.
It's Fonseca who takes that second place, and a huge disappointment for Pianosi. He's kind of really struggled to light up the racecourse and light up his performances this week. And so our defending champion, Riccardo Pianosi, who was so dominant last season, is out of this World Championship at the semi-final stage. But well done to Valentin Bontas, our Olympic champion. He's now in the final, looking to take a world championship title now.
Absolutely, and I just love the way that Lucas Fonseca has been crossing the finish line both races today. He has so much power on that final reach that he just explodes once he makes it through the line. This one we saw him do an incredibly big jump, and yeah, the young Brazilian rider is showing us what he can do today. Impressive stuff. This is going to make for an incredible final.
And obviously those results still to be confirmed officially, but that's how we've called them across the line. So the men's final will be Max Mader of Singapore and Jan Strajoti of Switzerland as our top qualifiers. They go into that final with a bullet each. And they are joined by Valentin Bontus of Austria and Lucas Fonseca of Brazil. First and second place finishers in the semi-final. So there's a short break for a moment as they give the women a chance to set up for their big final race of this World Championship. Let's have a look at the rundown of riders for the women's final. So our top qualifier. And it's really been a battle between her and second placed Lauriane Nolo. But Jessie Kampman of the Netherlands is looking really, really strong going into the final to hold on to her world title and make it 2 in a row. So her nearest challenger all through qualifying was Lauriane Nolo of France. Again, hugely experienced. She's won a medal at the World Championships every year for the last 5 years. Can she make it a third world title to her name here in Portugal? And she's always smiling, she's always up and happy. She really enjoys being out there on the water.
Absolutely.
So a 2 times world champion in Lauriane Nolo, the defending world champion in Jessie Kampman, and they are joined by 6 times world champion Daniela Moros in the final. And those 3 riders have won every single world championship since its inception back in, 2016, I think it was. But that's 10 championship titles shared between the 3 riders that are in the final. What must Elena Lengweiler be thinking as the 4th rider to face them?
I think it's epic. I mean, what a lineup. And I cannot wait to see these 4 race. I think Elena has done a fantastic job, as we've seen already today. She's been racing this course all day, so definitely a little more warmed up than the rest of them. But as you say, the experience in this final is very, very strong.
So race officials just checking the tracking, making sure everything is in place to get this race underway. Arguably the most important of the year. And the whole event has been crucial for so many reasons. Yes, of course, there are world titles at stake, but for some of the teams as well, it's been a process of whittling down as well for their Olympic teams. So whilst no major decisions were made, there have been coaches here and selectors just watching the action, seeing who is performing, seeing who maybe needs a little more time before being chosen for an Olympic team. I know the French are here in force, and they're very mindful that they're being watched as sponsors and selectors sort of whittle down the names and the numbers. The Chinese, though, and interestingly, there are so many of them that have made the medal series. The Chinese not under that sort of pressure. They said they've come here in force to learn, to train, to take the the title, the world title, but not too concerned about sort of Olympic qualification or team standings. We've got about 35 seconds now to go to the start of the women's final here in Portugal. The yellow bib of Jessie Kampman of the Netherlands was in the middle of the fleet there. Daniela Moros with the red bib just to the left of the screen.
And
And
here
now
they go.
And so they power up and they are away in the women's final of this 2026 Formula Kite World Championship. And the four riders spread evenly across the start line.
Daniela Moros at the boat end there with Lauriane Nolot just punching out at the bottom. All these riders on their 11 metres now. So matched on kites in these strong winds that we've got here today in Portugal.
Lauriane Nolot on your left of screen, Jessie Kampman on the right, heading out towards the left of the course, as are the other two who are just off screen.
Jessie Kampman in a strong position there just above Lauriane. Lauriane going for the tack, looking like she's going to duck Jessie there. And just making that cross. Oh, a super tight cross from Elena Lengweiler and Daniela Moros. As Daniela Moros goes for the tack now, followed by the other two.
With Kampman and Nolot holding a bullet apiece, obviously there is no holding back for Lengweiler or Moros. They have to, one of them has to win to keep this race alive.
Jessie Kampman looking really strong there above the Swiss rider Elena Lengweiler.
Kampman looked so strong all week, almost unbeatable. And really her and Nolot have traded first and second places throughout the 5 days of racing.
Crash from Jessie Kampman, absolute disaster.
Disaster for the Dutch rider. Kampman is in the water. The defending champion is struggling now to get back up out of the water. We'll keep an eye on her as the leaders with Lauriane Nolot come up to the top mark for the first time. And it is Lauriane Nolot of France who leads after one leg of this final. Elena Lengweiler is second. Daniela Moros of the United States is now in third. And in a moment, we'll get a sense of just how far back Kampman is, but there's no coming back for her. So drama already on the first leg of this women's final. But Lauriane Nolot is the winner of that drama because she is out in front. Now, we've seen plenty of lead changes on the downwind legs. Are we going to see another one? It's Lengweiler in second place. Moros trying to close in on her as the first jibes go in.
Jessie Kampman back up on the board there with a lot of catching up to do. But as we've seen, anything can happen in this short course racing. Daniela Moros going for that jibe now. The USA rider was loving these conditions all week, saying it's similar to her home training waters of San Francisco. She loves that 11-meter kite and the waves and the wind.
Yep, she feels totally at home. Big smile on her face all week after racing. As Nolo heads towards our camera, but just to the left of her is Daniela Morose and Elena Lengweiler. Nolo is round. Lengweiler round in second, but look how close it is between her and third place, Daniela Morose.
Lengweiler and Daniela Morose battling hard for that second position, doing everything they can to get a bullet that they would need to make these finals continue to another round.
So the two of them not wanting to get into a tangle, into a fight with each other. What their focus is chasing Nolo down and stopping her from winning this final, because if she does, the world title is hers. The leading pair tack. Morose chooses to go further down to the left.
Loriane Nolo looking strong still at the top there.
Can barely breathe at this point that we saw Campman splash down. And by the way, Campman, she's quite far back, but she's making a good recovery. So right now, it is the Swiss rider, Lengweiler, who is trying to hunt down Nolo and is doing a really good job of it. She's left Morose behind on this upwind leg.
Really impressive from the Swiss rider. She is putting pressure on Loriane Nolo.
Nolo, all that experience. 2 World Championship titles to her name already. And she'll be using all that experience to try and stay calm and collected. She's seeing Lengweiler just sneaking ahead of her now. Well, you're losing it on your screen, but I can tell you Nolo and Lengweiler have now hit the top lay, hit the lay line on the right-hand side. Nolo comes in to the top mark. That's Morose we're seeing. So Nolo is still out in front, heading downwind for the final time. Right behind her is Lengweiler of Switzerland. Morose, as you've seen, is round in third. So the battle now is between these two and whether the Swiss rider can catch the French.
Nolo is no stranger to leading a finals race. She is pushing hard and she will do everything she can to maintain this lead.
So, one final turn for the leaders before the finish line. And it's still impossible to call this. Morose following a similar tactic to her last downwind, putting in a late jibe. Morose, silver medalist at the 2025 World Championships, heading for bronze right now.
Elena going for a little bit of a more comfy lay line so she can come in hot and put pressure on the French rider. But Loriane Nolo is looking strong here, coming into the final reach of this grand final.
And she has got quite a lead now on this downwind. It's going to be impossible to catch her now as Loriane Nolo heads towards the finish line. It was gold in 23 for her and in 24. And now Loriane Nolo of France is gold again. In 2026, a triple world champion. That is quite a title for the French rider.
Incredible. You can see how pleased she is. She will be stoked on that. What a clean race for her.
Second place went to Elena Lengveiler of Switzerland. Daniela Morose crossed in third, and Jessie Campman will cross the line in fourth place. And considering what Campman went through, she was right behind them, wasn't she, in that final fourth place. So a terrific day for the French rider, who gets that bullet, that all-important match point to claim the final and the world title. And look what it means to her coach. There's a big French support team here. A lot of French riders have worked their way through qualification. And the tricolor flies once again at a Formula Kite World Championship. And she does have the biggest smile, doesn't she?
She does.
And we're going to see it in its entirety here in Viana. And she's had a terrific competition because, you know, Jessie Campman has dominated so much of the racing. Lorianola has stayed there on her shoulder all the time, has been hugely consistent, has believed in herself and in all that experience, and qualified through in second place. But that's all you need to do, isn't it? That's the game. That's how it works.
Exactly, yeah, heading into this final, both with that equal one bullet advantage. And everything is on that final, and she just showed us what she could do beautifully.
Right. Nolo and her fellow competitors will be accompanied off the water, heading back to the beach where the rest of the team and the media are waiting for interviews and photographs and all those celebrations that we will try and bring you as well. But first, we have the small matter of our final race of these World Championships, and it is the men's final. That's coming up in just a few moments. Back live with you from the racecourse off the coast of Viana do Castelo in Portugal for the 2026 Formula Kite World Championships. And just to the left of screen, you can see a rider with a French tricolor heading back to the beach. That is our world champion in the women's competition, Lorianola of France. She celebrates. Silver will go to Jessie Campman of the Netherlands, and bronze will be claimed by Elena Lengveiler, who had a terrific race.
Absolutely, a terrific day. I mean, yesterday it was looking like she wasn't even going to make the quarters, and she's made it in and just raced amazingly all day to make it into that bronze place.
And so the focus switches now to the men's final. And our 4 riders are out there waiting to be given the go. Max Mader of Singapore, 2 times world champion, looking to make it 3, has a bullet to his name already as top qualifier. Second qualifier, also with a bullet to his name, was Jan Strajoti of Switzerland. Valentin Bontus, the Olympic champion of Austria, is also in the final. He won through from the semi. Here is Max Mader, just 19 years old. He's been on the circuit for so long. He's been so successful. It's hard to believe he's still only 19. But 2 Olympic medalists in this final. There's some extraordinary pedigree and experience in the men's final. Jan Strajoti of Switzerland has had a terrific qualification round. I should say the 2 of them trained together because Strajoti and Mader, although he's from Singapore, he does train with the Swiss team and gets the Swiss coaching. Valentin Bontus and Lucas Fonseca of Brazil are our other riders. We are underway with this men's final. Okay. So that was close. I think the start caught everyone by surprise, to be honest. They were go earlier than we were expecting, and there was still a boat on the course, and that was close, wasn't it? But,
that was very close. Good call to abandon that race. I think it'll take a little bit of time for the riders to actually realise the race is abandoned. So they get a little extra warm-up lap in there.
Well, everything been running so smoothly until now, like clockwork. So we were due something, weren't we?
Absolutely.
But the question now really is, and you know, you've been out there plenty of times. You were caddying for Ellie Aldrich at the Olympic Games, of which there was a lot of postponement and abandonments and all sorts going on. So you know what it's like for the riders. At this point, you know, they've so pumped up, the adrenaline is flowing, they've started the race, and then suddenly it's abandoned. What do you do about that mentally?
Exactly. I think this is the real test of who can actually reset mentally the best. And I think people like Maximilian Mader, we see him all the time just brilliantly, no matter what's happened in a race, he can just reset and get back into that racing mindset, ready for that next race. But at the minute, we can see they are still racing their hearts out. They don't know it's abandoned yet.
Okay, so that is a bigger problem. Because this is exhausting work, and I know they're super fit.
It's like a trailer to the grand final. We can see Max rounding at the top there. They might have seen the flag at the windward mark. It looks like some of them are easing off a bit. So now they just need to make it downwind, reset, head into the next pre-start and do this all again. I wonder if it will impact people's strategy. We saw Jan and Max looking quite strong, having headed off on port there. So I do wonder if Lucas Fonseca and Valentin Bontus might change their strategy a bit, or if they'll stick to it.
And amongst the leaders, amongst those, you know, 2 riders with a match point to their name already, is there generally a feeling of let's work together, and then, I don't know, halfway through the race or something, one of us will try, we'll start racing properly, we'll just have to fend off the other 2, or what? And do the other 2 try and work together to reel in the 2 match point riders?
Oh, it's a great question. I feel like in this kind of racing, it's every man for themselves. I think particularly Max and Jan, they train together all the time. So I feel like for them, it's almost just like another day training. I know that when they do train, they train as if it is an Olympic final. So they give everything in training just so they are prepared for a race like this when everything matters.
Total superstar in Singapore, one of their most successful athletes of all time now, certainly of modern times.
Yeah, he is no stranger to winning a race.
You try filming with him in Singapore, and there's constant interruptions from fans who want to come up and have a word. And Jan Strajoti, by contrast, 18 years old, 3 youth world titles, but you know, he's still after one of those senior titles to prove himself. Could this be the event in which he comes of age? We shall see. He's certainly put on a really good show through qualification. Plenty of wins, looking really strong in his qualification fleet. But Max Mader, so dominant.
So dominant, and when he races, he does everything he can to perfection. So he is a hard one to beat. We only had 2 riders that beat him in the whole week. That was Tony Vodacek and Jan Strajiotti. Can Jan do it again today? We will see.
I get a sense that things have been reset because the race officials have quietened down. They're no longer standing. They're sitting at their screens, and our drones are back out on the course. So I think it's not long to go now to the men's final. There is one of the 2 men to catch with the gold bib of the overall leader, the leading qualifier, Max Mader of Singapore. We talk about his world titles, Olympic bronze medalist as well. Extraordinary quality. Had a bit of a blip last year. He wasn't quite, you know, on it, but he seems to have renewed focus at this event. He said part of that is just trying to kind of reach a sort of calm, zen-like sort of state. And not get too worked up or too serious in between, you know, race days. It's clearly working for him.
Definitely. It's such a strong lineup, and I just think it's incredible that we have Lucas Fonseca in this final. Again, yesterday didn't even look like he was going to make it into the quarters, but he fought so hard and has been pushing it to the max the entire day. So I'm sure we will see him put up a good battle in this grand final as well.
And that's the beauty of the format, isn't it? It all comes down to the medal series. Of course, it matters how you progress, because if you go straight through to the final as the leading qualifiers, then obviously you start with a bullet to your name and you're on match point. But other than that, you know, everyone else started in the same place. Back in the quarterfinals, Luca Fonseca. He came through that, came through the semis, and now here he is, and in a good position to possibly even win the world title. Who knows?
Who knows indeed. And of course, we've got Valentin Bontas there. Speaking of pressure, there is no pressure like an Olympic final. And as we know, Valentin Bontas, Olympic champion. We will be ready to see some good racing from the Austrian rider today.
I'm excited about this. We've got an Olympic gold and an Olympic bronze medalist. We've got multiple world champions out there, and we've got youth world champion. You know, I say the next generation coming through. He's only a year younger than Max, but you know how it is. It's time for some of them to prove themselves, others to show that they can take the pressure. Right, just over a minute to go, and I'm just trying to work out who prefers which side of the course. We've got Lucas Fonseca, Max Mader and Strajiotti are together at the pin end of the line, and Bontas and Fonseca up at the top end. And one's in the water there.
So little touchdown from Valentin Bontas, but he recovers. So interestingly, all the riders have gone for their same strategy as in the race that was abandoned just before. So yeah, 2 on port, 2 on starboard.
And it was fairly even, if I remember correctly. I was slightly distracted by the boat on the course, but I think it was fairly even as they got away. 20 seconds to go to the men's medal series final here at the 2026 World Championships. It's Max Mader, Jan Strajoti, Valentin Bontus and Lucas Fonseca, and they are heading towards that start line. Just a few seconds to go, and you're going to see them. There we go. They accelerate away, and they cross that start line, and it's Max Mader closest to the camera, and the other three bunched up together at the top end of the line.
All heading out on port together, with Maximilian on top of the pack. Again, super close battles between these guys.
Strajoti has shown he is really fast in these conditions, on these waters over the past week, and the last race of qualification of Goldfleet yesterday saw a real ding-dong between Mader and Strajoti.
So Maximilian just pushing over the top of the fleet there with some really strong speeds. This is going to be a really tight set of tacks for these guys at the top.
Time for the windsurfer to move. He's out of there.
Valentin Bontus leading the charge with the tacks. Maximilian just in front, but Jan Strajoti pushing hard, putting pressure on the Singaporean rider.
And what we're seeing is what we were seeing in that final race of Goldfleet yesterday. These two side by side, battling all the way for every inch of racetrack. Lucas Fonseca has gone quite far to the right-hand side.
It'll be interesting to see if these guys have made their ley line. As we saw in the other races, there's been quite a few double tacks at the top there. You can see them trying to ride as high as they can to make that mark.
So Mader
Pumping
here.
from Max there, really trying to scoot up to make that mark.
And Strajoti flying in from the right-hand side. But it's Mader on the inside at the top mark. He is in the lead, and Strajoti is at the back. His strategy has not worked.
And we saw an arm there from Valentin Bontus, who protested at the windward mark. We'll see how that works out for him later. But it's Maximilian in the front, jibing now with Lucas Fonseca. Jan Strajoti at the back there. He had to double tack at that windward mark.
Now, what's going to happen on this downwind leg? So many overtakes and lead changes so far in this competition downwind. What's going to happen this time as the wind gets up and gets even stronger? We're looking at about 25 knots now.
Lucas Fonseca giving Maximilian Mader a run for his money. He's not making this race easy for the Singaporean. This is sensational from the Brazilian rider. Jibing now on to that ley line with the others just behind. This is incredibly close racing.
The Brazilians have loved the conditions here. It reminds them of kiting at home. But Max Mader now pushing ahead of Fonseca, and it is so close on this leg.
Oh my goodness, they're going to have to play this leeward mark rounding really well to see who can take the most gains round this mark. Maximilian looking strong there. Lucas just behind. Valentin Bontus in third. And Jan Strajoti bringing up the rear.
Just so close between the leading three. And it's those two in the white bibs that you can see trying to hunt down Mader. Mader just needs one victory to take the title. The other two riders need to win this race to keep the grand final alive.
Valentin Bontus tacks as well with Lucas Fonseca, the last rider to tack. Maximilian Mader and Jan Strajoti at the top of our screen there. We've got Lucas Fonseca at the bottom of the screen with Valentin Bontus in the middle there. Maximilian still leading the pack, but the others are not making it easy for him.
Well, this upwind leg is the return of the Jan, because he is back in it after falling back into fourth place. And now once again, it's the two training buddies, Max Mader and Jan Strajoti, who are side by side and leading this final into the top mark.
What a catch-up from the young Swiss rider. That was beautiful riding. Maximilian tacking there onto that ley line, with Valentin Bontas just behind, Lucas Fonseca following the pack.
Such an exciting final. We've been treated to some really fantastic riding all week, but this is really the cream of it all. Max Mader out in front, and now as they round this top mark, we're going to get a better idea of the separation between first and second. Is Strajoti still in second? Is Bontas taken that second place? No, it's Jan Strajoti of Switzerland. Rounds in second. Bontas takes a splash but gets round, and Fonseca goes round the inside at the top mark to take third place. Downwind they go for the final time, and the chasing pair are running out of racetrack because Max Mader is extending his lead at the front. Strajoti is dropping back. And there, a great shot. You can see the distance between Max and Strajoti. We're getting some information from the race officials about a possible penalty. But right now we're focusing on our leading two.
So, news just in from the jury, Lucas Fonseca was penalised at one of the marks with a 1.1 penalty.
So that changes nothing at the front of the fleet, where it's Max Mader coming up to the bottom mark for the final time. And right behind him is Jan Strajoti of Switzerland, but it's going to be Max Mader who finishes first. Max by name, Max by nature. Mader has been dominant throughout these championships, and he's done so in emphatic fashion. The Singaporean has done it again for his third world title. Max Mader is our 2026 world champion. Jan Strajoti flies high to claim the silver.
Equally as stoked, I think Jan Strajoti will be so delighted with that second place, with that silver medal. Look at those two teammates just loving racing together, so happy for each other. That is beautiful. Max, so stoked on that.
After racing yesterday, Jan made his way back to the beach, and I was watching this on our Instagram account, and he said to Lena, "I'm so excited, never mind about being in the fight, it's just me and Max both in the final. They're such close mates." And I tell you what, there'll be celebrations in the Strajoti truck right now on the road in their camper van tonight. It's going to be a big party night. Because his dad is here, and the family will be celebrating in style over that silver medal. But that is our 2026 world champion. Max Mader of Singapore has done it again. 3 world titles to his name that go alongside his Olympic bronze medal. And yes, he punches the air. And the two of them celebrate with their coach. It's a great picture to see. And really, it wraps up a fantastic World Championship that has given us all sorts of action and drama on conditions. We've had 4 seasons throughout the week, winter, summer. It's been absolutely fantastic, but more importantly, it has tested the riders in so many different ways. And in the end, the cream has risen to the top, as it so often does, with Max Mader taking the title, his teammate Jan Strajoti taking silver. And a word as well for Valentin Bontus of Austria, unconfirmed, but our bronze medalist as things stand. So the Olympic champion adding a world bronze to his name. We're just going to try and get some words with some of the riders, with our medalists. Jemima is heading out to the beach with her microphone, and hopefully we'll be able to get some of the medalists. But the race officials now wrapping up the race course down there as we stick with our world champion, who joins Lauriane Nolot of France. If you've just joined us, our winner of the women's final. Right, let's go out to the beach. Jemima has someone with her.
Lauriane Nolot, our 2026 female world champion. How do you feel?
You know, I can't even believe it. It's crazy. Really, I was pretty stressed actually today because I knew I could do it, but it was going to be a tough battle with Jessie. And yeah, now my cheeks are painful. You know, I'm just smiling way too much. So no, I'm really excited, really proud of me. And yeah, I thought it was going to be you know, not a painful year, but you know, I haven't trained that much last year, and this winter I was like, okay, I need to put some work on, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have the feeling it's working, so it's really how do you say, like, grateful, or yeah, grateful, perfect. Then I'm happy.
Exactly. I mean, what a week, because you've just been so consistent all week. And how are you feeling going into the final? You said you're a little bit stressed and nervous. Yeah.
I think I knew I had the speed because this week, I gained confidence. I knew I could win races, and I think it was just all about your strategy on the water today. And yeah, I think it paid off. I took the right choices out there. So now, yeah, I'm super happy, super excited.
Amazing. And what are you going to do to celebrate?
I think tonight we're gonna party.
I'm sorry, we don't have any champagne on the beach for you.
No, but yeah, I think tonight might be a good party, and then next week I'm gonna rest with friends and family, and yeah, I'm excited actually, and because the next step is Los Angeles, so I can't wait to be there actually.
Absolutely. Well done again. And
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
You
yeah, you too. And back to you, Alec, in the studio. Oh, he's here. Over to you, Alec.
No, I thought I'd come and join you. That was great. We were talking about Lauriane's smile, weren't we?
Yeah.
And she certainly got a big smile on her face today. I was just looking around, see who we can find, hoping that Max might make it back to shore before we go off air. Shall we wander this way?
Absolutely.
Can you come with us? Excellent.
Oh. Hello, Eleanor. First of all, congratulations. Your riding was sensational today. You put on quite a show, and to make it all the way up through the quarters and to just do what you did in the final was amazing. Tell me about it.
Well, I had like nothing to lose. No, I ended in 10th position, so I said myself, yeah, it's all to win. No? So I tried to make no mistakes, clean racing, and push as much as I have left. So yeah,
Absolutely. Well, you could really see you just leaving it all out on the race course. And what was the hardest part of the day? I think I saw you really holding down that 15-meter and some really strong wins.
yeah, I wanted to change already before the second race, but I thought we have no time. So because the other girls already went, and we would have had no time, but the race committee waited a bit, so I just had to hold on this 50.
Just had to send it.
But yeah, it was a bit difficult. I don't think that it was a huge advantage, but yeah.
Oh, well done. Incredible stuff. And thank you so much.
I want to take you this way because Max is still out on the water, but his family are over here. If you come with me, let's just come in here and speak to Mr. Mader. Can we have a quick word? Congratulations, three world titles now for your son.
Well, of course, a nice, how do you say, nice achievement, and very happy that he managed to do it together with his training partner.
Who is right here. Yeah. So let's Jan, congratulations. Go on. The two teammates. Jan, congratulations. Well done. How was that?
Amazing, man. It was so tight, the battles, and it was quite windy, like really powered on the 15. Wow, but I'm so happy. Can't get any better than that with my teammate on
That's
top.
right, yeah. What did you say? We saw you like dive in together and celebrate. What were you saying to each
We
other?
were just screaming to each other like we did it. And yeah, we were so happy. I really know Max as well. He wanted so bad. And I'm so happy. The whole teamwork we did with Carl, Max, Mathieu, the whole thing. I'm so grateful to have this. And
for you as well, plenty of youth titles, but now you've got a senior silver medal at a senior world championship.
finally, I mean, last Worlds was quite a pity. I flew out at the semifinals, but finally I could manage to be in the final and prove my point that I can be on the podium with the top guys.
Well, I think he's too busy out there celebrating. Oh, he's coming. Oh, here he comes. So our world champion in the men's competition just coming in to shore right now. What a terrific performance from Max. Jemima, he was absolutely dominant, wasn't he, all week?
Absolutely flawless performance. Incredible from Max Mader.
And
Caddy there, just delighted. Daniel, such a great job also on the week on the beach, helping him with his kites and board.
right, let's get in and have a word. Well done. Well done, Max.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know. Give me your reaction. 3 world titles now.
Oh wow, yeah, I'm at a loss for words. Let me try and collect myself. It was worse at the rib on the water. You'll see the Instagram story. I was in shambles. What a race. That ley line, I don't know how it was for you on the live stream. I was afraid. I was shaking so badly in my mind. Of course, I had to stay stable on my board.
Yep.
But in my mind, I was falling apart, honestly. It felt like, oh God, oh no, oh no, oh no. And when I crossed that Mark 1, halfway all right, I was so relieved. There is no sensation of relief that will be stronger than that in a while.
But look, what's changed? Because last year you had a little bit of a blip. I mean, you were still great, obviously, but you had a little bit of a blip. You struggled a little bit, but you've come back to these World Championships. You don't have to agree with me. You've come back to these World Championships and you've dominated. You know, there's no one's come close, really.
They did multiple times, including today. So I would say,
Come on, there were only 2 races, I think, out of 20 that you haven't won, and then you were second. So
well, yeah.
okay. But is something changed in your training, in your mindset?
Well, I have trained a lot during the winter together with an amazing teammate and amazing teammates, my brother included. I have such a wonderful team behind me. Of course, I always say I'm such a fortunate person, but yes, I've been trying my very best to make the most out of it. And the others, I'm sure they'll catch up very soon. So I have to stay on my toes, as my coach always says.
Okay. Max, congratulations. Very well done. I'll let you get to do some celebrating with your team.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, Jemima, I've completely lost contact with the studio, so I don't even know if we're still on air. I think we are. So I think it's time to wrap up. I mean, that sums up how much these world titles mean, and it doesn't matter, whether they've won 1 or whether they've won 3. Every one of them means so much to them. Your highlights of the week?
The whole of today, it was epic. I mean, I cannot remember another day of racing that was quite that incredible. The lead changes we saw, it just shows the depth of the fleet is incredible. The level is the highest it's ever been, and wow, we are in for such an incredible lead up to the games in 2028.
We are, absolutely. Well, I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a thrilling competition here at Viana do Castelo in Portugal. They've looked after us wonderfully here at the Viana. It's kind of eco hotel, sports hotel, water sports centre. It's been absolutely amazing. And you can see why this is such a mecca for board sports, because the wind has blown, sometimes even too much. And I'm laughing because our cameraman has just got drenched by a wave. Let's move this way because we'll save his trainers. It's been a fantastic week. Thanks to everyone for looking after us so wonderfully. But above all, thanks to all the riders for putting on an amazing show. So from Jemima and from me, for now, it's goodbye.
I was waiting in the undertow. I was waiting in the undertow. And the water feels like a friend And I was waiting in the undertow while I was waiting in